Good morning and evening, listeners. I am Minh. I am representing my team to presentate about object-oriented programming project. Our project is about electronic library management systems. Our introduction. We are group 4 in class 104C6. Thanks to instructor Võ Nhật Tân and Trương Tuấn Hoa. Our members: Dung Hoài Phúc, leader, core architecture, design parent strategist; Liễu Huỳnh Minh Đăng, myself, backend development and data persistence; Tạ Đức Dũng, authentication, GUI interface, UX design; and finally Nguyễn Sơn Hải, slides, UML diagrams, report writing, testing and feedbacks. Let's talk about how the 4 principles of object-oriented programming were used in this project. Let's start with encapsulation. Encapsulation is bundling data in the methods that operate on that data into a single unit, which restrict direct access from outside. For example, this user class, we have specifiers like private and protected to hide data and restrict access from outside. The attribute must be accessed through special getters function. Next is the inheritance principle. This allows a new class to be based on an existing class, which promotes code reusability. For example, in the project, the class user is the base class, and the member and the librarian are the derived class, which inherits the common attribute and method from user. The third one is the polymorphism principle, which allows objects of different classes to be treated as objects of a common superclass. For example, in the project we have an interface class, which called search strategy, and we have 3 different search strategies implemented in 3 derived classes. This allows the search function to have 3 different search engines without having to change the search function names. And the last principle is abstraction. It is about hiding complex implementation details and exposing only essential functionalities. In the project, we have an abstract class, book decorator, which has an abstract method called getFullDescription, and the method is implemented by the derived class, special tag decorator, difficulty label decorator, and additional info decorator. The 4 object-oriented programming principles promote us to reuse our codes, easier maintainability, and extensibility. Let's talk about the design patterns application in our project. First, we have the singleton pattern. The singleton pattern ensures that the class only has one instance and provides a single global point of access to it. This is useful for objects that need to coordinate action across the system, such as central manager or a configuration handler. For example, in the project, we have the singleton pattern applied to the library manager class. Since the library must be consistent throughout the application, it is critical to have only one object managing it. The library manager class implements a private constructor to prevent external instantiation and a public static method, getInstant, which returns the only instance of the class. The library manager class also serves a facade. The facade pattern provides a simplified interface to a complex subsystem. It encapsulates interaction with multiple components such as book manager, member manager, and loan manager, allowing client code to perform complex operations through simple method calls. Next, with the observer pattern. The observer pattern defines a one-to-many dependency between objects. When one object changes its state, all of its independents or observers are notified and updated automatically. This pattern is ideal for creating distributed event handling systems. The observer pattern is the backbone of the notification service. In our systems, entities like lone access subjects, observers such as member observer or librarian observer can register themselves with a subject. When a lone status change, the lone subject notifies all its registered observers. Next is the strategy pattern. The strategy pattern defines a family of algorithms, encapsulates each one and makes them interchangeable. It lets the algorithm vary independently from the client that uses. This is useful when you have multiple ways to perform a task and want to choose one at runtime. In our project, an abstract interface I-penalty strategy defines methods for calculating fines and penalties. Concrete strategy classes like title search strategy, author search strategy, and category search strategies implement this interface, each providing a different search algorithm. This allows the system to switch between various search approaches dynamically based on user requirements. The last design pattern in our project is decorator pattern. The decorator pattern allows behavior to be added to an individual object, either statically or dynamically, without affecting the behavior of other objects from the same class. It is used to extend an object's functionality. In our project, this pattern is used to add extra information to book objects in a flexible way. A book decorator class inherits from book and also contains a pointer to a book object. Concrete decorator classes like difficulty label decorator and special tag decorator inherits from book decorator. They override methods like getForDescription to first call the wrapped objects method and then add their own information, for example a difficulty label or a bestseller tag to the result. And now is the application demonstration of our team. Let's start by executing the application. As you can see, this is the login interface of our application. And also in the console, you can see that the information of the library is added into the system along with the author categories information and the loan and member information from previous sessions. It is stored in the data folder. In the login interface, you can see that there are two ways to enter username and password. And there's also a register button and a sign in button. You can click the register button if you want to create a new account. For example, Minh and password. And note that password must be at least 8 characters. If I try to type only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and register, it won't allow it. So I'll try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and register a new account. See? Okay. Now let's try to log in with a librarian account. I'll get the data from the librarian CSV. Let's use my librarian account. Then the password is 128. So as you can see, this is the librarian interface with the panels on the left and the current panel selected interface on the right. Let's start with the dashboard interface. The librarian will approve of the borrow request of the member. Now suppose the member Hoài Phúc want to borrow a new book. We use his member ID MN004 and the book by ISBN, suppose like the Don Quixote, and we paste it in. And I want him to borrow for only 14 days. If he want to extend the days, that's fine. Borrow. And as you can see, the new loan has been created for the member, and the status of the loan is active. You can also see it in the CSV. And after like a few days, he want to return the book, I can just type in his member ID again and the book ISBN and return, and the loan has been returned successfully. In the return book interface, there's also a clear button and close button. The clear button is just used to clear the current query. Now we close it. Continue with the next panel, the browse feature. In this browse feature, you can search for a certain book by just remembering a type keyword, like I want to use the word clean, and the search mode is defaulted to title of the book. So I'm gonna click search. As you can see, the most relevant book related to the title clean is Clean Code, a handbook of agile software, and Clean Architecture. This is achieved by using a search algorithm called using a Levenstein distance. We can try again with the author name. Let's try with the name King or Stephen. Yes, as you can see, the author related to name Stephen is on the top of the search. Again with the category names. Let's try to search tech, and of course the technology category will be on top. We can just clear the search query. Next up, we have the book managing panel. This panel is for librarians to manage the currently have books in the library, or I want to add more books into the library. For example, I have prepared myself a temporary example book with the ISBN like above. And I can just click add. As you can see, the book is added to the library. Now I want to remove a book. I can just have some spare books here to remove. Let's try to remove all of these four. With the ISBN easy to follow. 1, 2, 3. It also recommend the book based on the currently type ISBN. Remove. Yes, the first one is removed, so we remove the last three. And now the book section is clean. Next off, the member manage panel. In this panel, we only show the information of the members, like the member IDs, the username, and the total borrowing books, just as in the loans. Member Junta has borrowed a total of 5 books and he has returned them all. Member Hoài Phúc also has borrowed 1 and returned them. Next, with the loan manage panel, we can see over the columns of the information of the loans currently have in the system. Suppose member Junta has borrowed 5 books but have returned none of them. You can click penalty to apply penalty to them. Like suspend. The last of is the notification panel. The notification panel will notify the user if there are new updates on the system with the observer pattern. Now let's try with a member account. In the member interface, there is less feature than in the librarian one, because when the member want to borrow a book, they can just come to the librarian to ask for approval, but they can still search for the books. Let's try a word like king and search title name. It works exactly like the search in the librarian interface. In the member manage, you will be able to see your borrowed books. Sorry, let's try with a account that had borrowed books. Here, in the member manage of this account, we have 5 borrowed books which have also been returned. And the notification center will notify the user about any penalties that have been applied or any loans that is on due date. Let's log out of the system. As you can see, when we log out of the system, the new information is saved into the CSV. This is in order to keep the data persistent with every session. Even the new book I added is now here. Thank you for listening.